try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. You check as I'm chess, what's happening next? Yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Collective Clicks Nation. Today I kind of wanted to do a quick revisit over Mystical. We did a quick revisit over Avengers and what a good Avengers team looks like going forward after the drop of Avengers Forever, and some of the pieces that you can add from that set. But Mystical is a team that I kind of built in my first few videos for this channel, and I just want to do a quick revisit because it is something that has seen success in a couple meta events. I know we've mentioned it here, but one of the great teams that was created was a triple Saturnine, double Arachnite build with the Death Metal Wonder Woman reviving something. Another one was a Blackheart or a double Blackheart, double Wonder Woman. This was obviously before Wonder Woman's errata, but Mystical is definitely going to be a thing going forward, and the big reason for that is the Soul Sword. So the Soul Sword really makes Mystical go. I know Apocalypse has a lot to do with it, but Apocalypse wouldn't be as good as he is without the Soul Sword. It just grants Mystical and Blades, Claws, Fangs, and if they already have the Mystical team ability, once per turn, when they deal damage from that team ability, choose one, deal 2 penetrating damage instead, or also heal 1 click. So anytime they're dealing mystical damage, they are healing, or they can deal 2 pen instead. So a big way to counteract this is probably something with Invincible, or something that can reduce penetrating damage. But without looking at what beats the Soul Sword, let's just talk about why this is good. Because there's also the Star Sapphire Ring. Let's see if I can just search it. Yeah, the Star Sapphire Ring dropping in Batman Team Up. That makes Mystical Team ability the Mystical Team ability of old, where it deals unavoidable damage instead. So this would get around invincible pieces. Now, obviously, you can't have both of these equipment equipped to the same character, so you don't have to worry about someone dealing 2 unavoidable or dealing an unavoidable to get around your invincible and then healing a click. But these 2 equipments are going to make this mystical build, or any mystical build, very good. And over on the left hand side here on Clicks Nexus, I have a lot of the high level mystical pieces that you are going to see in the meta. This is not to say that these are the only good mystical pieces out there, but you see how big this list is. These are all, outside of probably Venom, Doctor Strange, Forge, and Agnes down here at the bottom, as well as Doom. But take off these 3. These are just kind of tertiary pieces that I added on here because they do fit my playstyle. But everything above them is stuff that's really high level meta stuff, and it can all fit on the same theme team. And the reason why Apocalypse was so good for, let's see if I can find them in this slew of pieces. So Apocalypse is so good for Mystical is because Mystical was always missing that cheap leadership piece that could do something else, or it was missing a secondary attacker. So on a Mystical team before Apocalypse, I was having to stick with Richter or something along those lines, some 40-point piece, 50-point piece that's not the best at attacking. I mean, Richter's very good, don't get me wrong. It gets around barrier, it has barrier, this, that, and the other. It does a lot of cool stuff. But the issue with him is he's only dishing out 2 damage. Now, Apocalypse comes in with Blades, Claws, Fangs, really hard to kill with the Soul Sword equipped, and full charge, full speed charge, and he's got the leadership on him. So you don't have to worry about running Blackheart for your leadership. Very good. This piece really upped the game for Mystical, and he dropped at the same time as a Soul Sword. So, yeah. If it says anything about the keyword of Mystical, it's won 2 of the major events, 2 of the most recent major events that high-level HeroClix players have played in. Granted, those are very good players, and they probably know how to play these pieces better than anybody else, and they've probably practiced with them a lot. So keep that all in mind. Make sure that if you are running Mystical, you really know what these pieces do because some of them are very intricate, like Arachnite. So Arachnite he's not that intricate, but he gets intricate because of his wording. So his special and attack, right? So he has a trait where he can choose Flurry. Okay, so let's just say that you choose Flurry, and his special and attack is Precision Strike, and then once per turn, when Arachnite KOs an opposing character, you may roll a d6. 3 through 6, choose an opposing character, then place Arachnite adjacent to that character, and make a close attack targeting that character. So, after the first attack of your Flurry, if you KO the piece that you're flurrying against, you do get to roll that 3 through 6, place Arachnite adjacent to another opposing character, make this attack for a special attack, and then make the second attack of the Flurry. So the timing is really off with him. And I don't know if this is obviously an oversight. I won't say obviously, but it's probably an oversight from WizKids, just the wording of this special attack, but that's kind of what high-level meta players and people that build teams are looking for, are just those little oversights that can help give you an edge, and that's what Arachnite gives here. So, like I said, make sure you know what each of these pieces can do. Mad Jim Jaspers, he doesn't require a lot of practice to really understand how he works, but he requires a lot of practice to understand how he works with your team. So if you are running Mad Jim Jaspers, you really need to understand which objects need to go on which characters at what point in time against what teams you're building or what teams you're facing on the other side of the board. But really with Mystical, if you build with any of these pieces up, Felix Faustin up, you are probably looking at something that can win, right? The Saturnine, like I said, a triple Saturnine team is completely viable. She's got a really cool TK and then a map-wide perplex on both turns, so she can increase or decrease an attack roll by 1. And if you run with 3 of her, they can all proc at the same time, or you can proc 2 of them and then save 1 for another attack because it is only once per turn. So Saturnine's very good. We've gone over Apocalypse, gone over Arachnite, Scarlet Witch. Obviously, you get both of the witches in Scarlet Witch and Agatha Harkness. My preference is the Scarlet Witch, but if you do not have her and don't have the funds to go out and get her, Agatha Harkness is very good by herself. The triple target mind control is overlooked in my opinion. And I would say if you do run Agatha, you do want to run some kind of smoke cloud with her. Make sure that you are running, some way to put hindering terrain on the map because she is slightly map dependent in that aspect. She can't really move around too much if she doesn't have hindering terrain to get around with. So if you do run Agatha, make sure that you are running something like the Common Summoner, or is it I think it's the starter set Summoner that has Smoke Cloud. In fact, I might have to go over to AC Realms. AC Realms does have, ignore that. So I don't mean to put news up here, but that's just my basic homepage. So HC Realms does have some benefits to being used here. Their advanced search you're able to search for certain powers. So if I go to Modern Age and then in Special Powers search Smoke Cloud, and then in the keyword I can put in Mystical. So I will only come up with modern mystical pieces that have Smoke Cloud and a special ability or trait. And that's usually the only way that you're going to see free Smoke Cloud or Smoke Cloud as free. So Mystical is pretty far down here. There it is. Okay, so hit the search and you're left with these pieces. So you do have the starter set Summoner. Let's read him. Smoke Cloud Poison, and when Summoner uses it, he treats opposing characters occupying the Smoke Cloud markers as adjacent. So not a free Smoke Cloud, but definitely something to think about. Pixie is a very good piece for the taxi. Phasing Teleport, Passenger 3, blah blah blah. Nope. Smoke Cloud. Opposing characters occupying markers generated by this power can use Earthbound, Neutralized, and Battle Fury. That might not be very good with your Scarlet Witch, but it might be good with Agatha. She does not have Shape Change, I believe. No, she does get Shape Change, so maybe that's not the best route to go with Redroot the Forest from the OP event has this character's Smoke Cloud. So when he hits, he can use Smoke Cloud as free, but he's probably not hitting a lot. He's got triple bolts. Incap. Does Incap have a minimum rate? It doesn't matter. This guy's probably not worth it. 40 points, 18 defend, top dial. You are getting PC with him, but probably not worth it to put on there. The Rare Diablo. I remember looking at this piece when I was looking at Agatha and thinking that this might be the best one. Smoke Cloud as free, but only... Okay, so yeah. So the Rare Diablo might be your best option. You do start with the Alchemical Potion? Yeah, Alchemical Potion. He doesn't get the clay or the fire. He gets the potion, which is the lesser of the two, but it's still a very good object. And if you run it with Mad Jim, you can swap that out for something else on your sideline. So he could be a good, just swap him out. Obviously, you swap him initially out for the, the thing that Falcon comes with. The, oh man. Okay, so that's going to bug me. I got to look at it. Oh, Falcon comes with the... I guess it's a 5-point trait on the super rare. Red Wing. So you could swap Diablo out for the Red Wing bystander and then swap him into whatever equipment he wants to have going forward. Probably something like I don't know. Probably something like probably something like he might be a good candidate for the emotional modifier, just because he's not something that you're really throwing up into the action. He's just using his smoke cloud markers to get Agatha to move around. So that's an idea if you do decide to run Agatha. I threw Magic at 25 points up here because she does have a 5-point sword bearer trait for the same kind of interaction. Mad Jim Jaspers can swap her sword out. So you can start with a soul sword on Apocalypse and then a different sword with Magic, swap the sword out on Magic for the Red Wing bystander, and then you have a second sword on your sideline to swap into Apocalypse if he doesn't need the soul sword that turn, or to power action equip somebody else with it. I want to say there was a good one for Scarlet Witch, or you could start Magic off with the soul sword and then swap Scarlet Witch off of the Darkhold to the soul sword. Something like that. Like I said, you can build with any of this and just let your imagination run free. Death Metal Wonder Woman should make every build that she can. Just a free Monster Reborn for your team, no matter what piece it is. Probably going to be used mostly on Apocalypse. I feel like if you are running Mystical or something with Apocalypse and Genesis, these are the two pieces that you throw up into the fray most of the time, because they do want to be attacked. Most of the time. I will say most of the time there are a lot of pieces that can get around stop clicks and cosmic energy in the game at the moment. So, and those are just those ways are being found out quickly because these pieces are going to be so prevalent in the meta. But I would say, you could go the Saturnine route, run 3 of her with Mad Jim Jaspers, and a lot of attacking power there, and then you have all the support you need, really. Along with the Death Metal Wonder Woman. I threw the Spirit of the Game Pog bystander on here. This was a decent way to get that extra action without leadership before Apocalypse dropped. And then, like I said, you could also do the Doom swaps here for Mystical. And then Venom's Doctor Strange was another way to get leadership way back in the day. And then Agnes. I feel like Agnes is a Mystical piece that's really... to me, it's like the emotional modifier. Like, I never want to put the emotional modifier on my team. I don't think, in my mind, I never want to say it's good enough to make my main force, but whenever I do play with it, it's insanely good. And then if I play with it for a while and then I don't play with it, I notice that it's not there. And I feel the same way about Agnes and Senor Scratchy. Senor Scratchy is so good, especially if you're running Blackheart or something with Mastermind on a mystical team. Another piece that I did not put up here is Dormammu Red. His unoutwittable Mastermind paired with Agnes and Senor Scratchy. Let me pull up Senor Scratchy real fast, because Senor Scratchy really is what makes that good. I can't. I must have typed it in wrong. Or it might have that like special little N that you can't search. Okay, so. Or I should just put in Scratchy. That probably would have pulled it up. Okay, yeah, it's a special little N. Okay, so Senor Scratchy gives your mystical pieces or celebrities +1 to their attack value, and it also has enhancement. So it's giving all of your mystical pieces RCE. And on top of that, it does have Blaze Claws, and it is autonomous. Now, its Blaze Claws is half of the D6 result, so the max it can do is 3 damage. But you're not really using this to attack. You're using this as Mastermind fodder because Agnes can pop it out each turn. It's really just an extra stop click for your Mastermind pieces if they're not able to outwit it. So if you are running Dormammu Red, I would say Agnes is a really good play, or another thing, or Blackheart, right, with his unoutwittable Mastermind on the stop clicks. With all that being said, guys, I really wanted to go over Mystical real fast because this is going to be something. I know we've talked a lot about the X-Men swap with Apocalypse and Genesis and how that's going to be, a high-level meta team. The Mystical team is also something to be prepared for. The Triple Saturnine in general is going to be something that you need to prepare for. Being able to get past, a -3 to your final attack roll is going to be a thing. I don't think it's broken. A lot of people are talking about how this piece needs an errata to make it, unique or something along those lines, but I really don't think so. I don't think this is broken. I think this is something that's just really strong that people are taking advantage of. But that's my opinion. My opinion is this piece does not need an errata, but I'm more of the mindset that the less erratas in the game, the better. And we'll obviously see after Florida goes through how much of a problem Saturnine is. If it ends up being that, Triple Saturnine makes wins again, or if, Triple Saturnine is in every team in the top 4, then I might be willing to admit that, yeah, it might be a problem. But at the same time, just because a piece wins doesn't mean that it's a problem in the game. It just means that nobody's found a way to counteract it yet. There is a way around this, right? I mean, you can outwit it with some pieces. Some pieces do get around Cosmic Energy. And then dice replacement will also help you out your team going up against Saturnine. Something along those lines. And with the question getting a legacy card in the Batman team up set, that might be something to look at as well. With all that being said, guys, just be prepared for Mystical. I hope you guys all have a great week, great weekend, and enjoy the holidays. Hopefully, I'm able to drop a couple more videos for you to enjoy during your holiday vacations. Peace.